You are lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. It's 3 in the morning, and your brain is obsessively replaying a tiny mistake from earlier that day, like your phone ringing in the middle of a silent meeting. In the isolation of the dark, the emotional stakes feel artificially high. What was a minor workplace error begins to feel like a personal crisis, feeling a cycle of anger, insult, and a growing sense of anxiety. Your immediate instinct is to fight back. You try to forcefully suppress the memory, attempting to clear your mind and demanding that your body finally go to sleep. But this creates a paradox. The more effort you expend trying to shut down the thoughts, the louder and more forceful they become, rushing back into your consciousness the moment you try to push them out. This struggle happens because we view all mental activity as one single unified process. We treat every flash of memory or emotion as something we are personally responsible for managing.
To understand why the mind becomes overactive, we have to divide all mental activity into two distinct mechanical categories: thought, which is unconscious, and thinking, which is conscious. On the left is thought. This is a purely biological reflex. Like a puff of smoke, it appears on its own, lasts for a fraction of a second, and then vanishes. It happens without any effort or intention from you. On the right is thinking. This is a willful, active process. Unlike a fleeting thought, thinking requires your sustained effort and direct attention to keep the gears turning. Suffering occurs when we panic at a natural, fleeting thought and decide to intervene. We reach out and ride the wave, engaging with the thought instead of letting it pass. By taking control, we provide the energy the thought needs to survive. We capture a momentary impulse and pull it into a conscious loop, transforming a temporary flash into a spinning whirlpool of sustained anxiety. Daily anxiety doesn't stem from the initial arrival of a negative thought. It is the byproduct of a mechanical error, the moment we capture a temporary impulse and convert it into a permanent loop of thinking. This mechanical framework applies even to the most extreme emotional experiences, such as the profound grief of a couple who has lost a child. In this situation, sorrow arrives as a series of unconscious thoughts. These are natural biological reflexes, unbidden and brief. If left to their own natural life cycle, these individual pulses of grief appear and then dissipate on their own. The grief becomes a paralyzing chronic condition only when it is wrapped in conscious thinking. By judging the sorrow, questioning the duty of a parent to suffer, or cultivating guilt, we give those fleeting pulses authority to take root in our nervous system. We see the same pattern with intrusive or taboo desires. The initial appearance of an uninvited thought is a blameless biological reflex. It is not a reflection of character, but a natural happening that will die down if it isn't renewed by conscious effort. Regardless of the trigger, the mechanics of human suffering are identical: the conversion of an involuntary, momentary thought into voluntary, sustained thinking. Since thoughts are unconscious reflexes, we have no actual responsibility to control or refine the ones that arise. A thought is simply a biological event, like a heartbeat or a breath. This is why attempting to replace negative thoughts with positive ones often fails. The act of replacing is itself a form of thinking, an intervention that keeps the mind's gears turning and prevents the original thoughts from dissipating. Think of thoughts like the pedals of a car. Positive thoughts act as the accelerator, while negative ones, like a suspicion of business loss, act as the brakes. Both are neutral, functional signals that help us navigate. We only need to apply conscious thinking when we are performing external actions in the physical world. Thinking is a tool for calculation and planning. It has no helpful role in managing our internal psychological flow. The way to address an overactive mind is to stop intervening with the natural flow of your internal thoughts. You allow them to appear, and you allow them to go. When you refuse to ride the wave or provide conscious energy, thoughts lose their momentum. They arrive less frequently and grow weaker, eventually slowing until they arise only on rare occasions. Allowing thoughts to move without interference changes the internal environment. By granting your thoughts the freedom to appear and disappear on their own, the constant pressure within the mind simply stops.